Do you remember the man I flew down to talk to in Dallas last year? Yeah, that Mr. Ewing man. Do you remember the IRS guy?
Right.
Yeah, he prevailed. The IRS dismissed the case against him the day before trial.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, because I gave him 2 sentences to put into the court.
Right.
He was going nuts. He was bugging me for like a year because he had a year to move the case. And I said, look, you've got this golden opportunity to deposition the IRS. I said, the IRS is taking you to a criminal court. They're not taking you to a tax court where you can't deposition him. They're taking you to a criminal court. So now you have the right to take it and put them on the witness stand in a form of a deposition, not a trial. You got 11 months to interrogate these people, to ask them, like a simple question. What is a taxpayer? Am I a taxpayer? Who is a taxpayer? I said, you've got this opportunity that nobody in the United States that I'm ever aware of had the understanding to carry away with. And nobody had this ability to do this. I said, you've got me, pal. And all we could have every question all you little tax protesters ever wanted answered, and they have to answer it under oath because they moved the case against you, and they can't remove the case from you. If they would, like if they did, they pulled it out the day before trial, I would say no. He didn't call me up and says, well, Carl, they withdrew their case against me. I said, no. You tell them the trial goes on as scheduled tomorrow. But it goes on. And you're going to make them answer those 2 damn sentences that I gave you. You're going to make them answer those questions.
Right.
Because he wanted them to answer, I want to talk to him because he was just like John Fall, asking me a million questions and code and all sorts of crap. I said, stop all that silly shit. Just stick with the 2 lines I gave you. And don't say another damn thing and shut your mouth. I said, you're going to wind up like John Fall. You're going to be in a glass booth in another room somewhere watching your trial from a video camera. Just ask those 2 damn questions and shut the fuck up. They won't be able to answer it. And, the case will be dismissed. But you don't let them dismiss it. You make them continue.
Right.
And you make them continue until it's discharged. Right. But then once it's discharged, you can turn around, you can make a claim for compensation. You could sue them for court costs and everything else. You can't sue them for court costs at this point because it's just dismissed. It's just been held over to a later date. I guarantee you just think, oh, boy, I'm so glad I don't have to pay all this money. And I don't have to give Cole all the money I owe him. $1,500 out of $5,000. He gave me the $1,500, whatever. He flew me down there. I did the work for him, and he said he'll pay me, every month, a little bit at a time. He never did.
So he did not continue with the case. Then he let him dismiss it, and that was it.
Yep. He let him dismiss it, and he was happy that it was dismissed.
So he didn't even continue to really get there to open it up. And like you said, that could open a Pandora's box for everything that the taxpayer needs to find out. It could have ended everything. It could have ended in every single thing ever. There was any tax case that was ever before the court. I could have asked the IRS a few simple questions on during deposition, and it would have been over. And everybody could have used it around the world who has to deal with the IRS. Right. And the main question is, what is the taxpayer? And who is a taxpayer? And am I a taxpayer? And who is a taxpayer? And then we could have just got the definition, just some very basic definitions from the IRS. Just answer these basic, simple questions so I can comply, so we don't have to have a trial. And I'll just, totally, do what I'm supposed to do. Right. Just tell me, just answer these few simple questions I have for you because I want to be in full compliance with the law. So tell me, what is a taxpayer? What is this? What is this? What is this? Stuff like that. That's all you should have done, is ask him those simple questions. Right. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. He had him by the ball and like that, and he tell her. He was looking out for his own shit, and what is funny, I told him, I said, look, pal, I'm going to explain this to you. They're only coming after you from the year 1999 to 2005. The judge actually asked him in Texas, in open court, why aren't you going after Mr. Ewing for 2007 to 2010? And he says, we don't wish to do that at this time. And I said to Mr. Ewing, I said, do you understand that they're going to hold this, they're going to come after you again for the 2007 to 2010? You better nip this thing in the bud. And you better get it, taken care of now while I'm here and I'm available.
Because if they say to themselves, you know what, I think this guy's full of shit. I don't think this guy could actually move this to the court. I don't think he has a fucking clue what these two questions mean. You know what? Carl's not around. You know what? Let's pursue this guy. Let's take him back into court and take him after 2007, 2010. And they're going to eat you for lunch. I said, I said, look, this isn't, and it was all about him. That's all it was. It was all about him. It had nothing to do with, say, look, man, we could help people all over the country to deal with this once and for all. Am I a taxpayer? What is a taxpayer? Why do I owe these taxes? And who am I paying this to? Simple questions. Very simple questions. Not that I hate the IRS. Like I said, if I want to be Donald Trump, if I want to be Bill Gates, if I want to be Warren Buffett, I better kiss the IRS ass because they'll make me a billionaire. But if I just want to act like a man, it's like, you know what, honestly, that's his name, Chris Ewing. Chris Ewing.
Right.
So, so this was the last time.
I remember that old guy just talking.
Yep.
Chris Ewing.
Yep.
And he was his name is behind the famous name that they had on that television.
Yep. See, because here he goes. This is what he wrote me. This is the last email he wrote me last July. No, not July 15, July of 14. He says, I hope you're doing very well. Did you ever get the Texas flag? Yeah, he sent like a silly nylon one, man. You know, not like a nice cotton one, like a $2 one he found at Walmart. If not, I'll try to find you one. Yeah, sure. Document we hand wrote in blue ink on a hearing date back in May 30th of 2014. He said, this is the document I plan to send on Monday, July 7th, to the Chief Judge in Tyler, Texas, handwritten again in blue ink. And then he wrote a letter to the prosecutor, John Fisher, a man sometimes acting as the prosecutor. So, like I said, there's very simple questions we were asking the judge and very simple questions we were asking the prosecutor, you know, and questions to be answered. And so, like I said, the way he wrote it, you know, they just didn't have a way of answering it. Well, not the way he wrote it, the way he says, document we hand wrote in blue ink on a hearing date. You know, I put some very simple stuff into the court. The not social services, IRS. Hey, shut up! No, sorry, but I didn't even realize that stupid dog was barking at me because she does it all the time. It's my mom's dog.
Right.
And but what it is the IRS wanted to move the case immediately against him. When I went up there in May, they said, can you set the trial date for like 2 weeks or a month? And then the judge seen the notices. He's like, no, we're going to delay this for about a year. And obviously Ewing was happy. And I was like, no, you want to get it on today. I said, I'm here. Let's do this. And he's like, no, they're going to give me a year. I'll gladly take a year to practice and study. Practice and study what? Just give them those 2 damn questions and let them try to answer the damn thing. I said, they won't be able to answer, and this judge will dismiss it or discharge it. Let's just wrap it up. You know, he's like, no, man, I'll take the year extension. I said, okay. I said, the only thing good about taking a year extension is now you have the ability, since this is a criminal matter, under the United States Criminal Code, Rule 15, that they have to cooperate in a deposition. And you could drag them on to a deposition for months. Or you could take them for deposition, just ask them 1 or 2 questions. And if they don't cooperate in a deposition, you could have the judge file a motion and require them to answer those damn deposition questions. And if they won't do that, you could have them sanctioned that nothing they could put into the court could be recognized. Or you could have them in contempt of court if they're on court. And you could have that man put in, incarcerated until he answers the damn questions. And that guy could sit in jail for the rest of his life until he answers these questions. I said, do you understand the golden opportunity that you have that nobody that I know in recorded history in the United States had the opportunity to do? Yes, I'm sure the IRS has taken people to criminal courts, not just tax courts. But do you understand that all these clowns had fucking lawyers? Nobody had Karl Lentz.
Right.
Nobody had Karl Lentz. I was going to ask him a simple question. Hey, I want to deposition you. What's a taxpayer? I said, all these lawyers just said, oh, just wait till we get to trial. We'll clobber them. We'll ask them under oath, what's a taxpayer? And they got the IRS agent on the witness saying, what's a taxpayer? And the IRS attorney say, I object. That's speculation, Judge. He has no formal training in legal. He's an IRS auditor. He's not an attorney. He can't answer that question. And the judge will say, sustained, overruled. You're going to have to reform the question. He's not his pay grade to determine who is a taxpayer. Because then if he says, well, then do you know who in the IRS would be able to define what a taxpayer is? And then the prosecutor jump up again, speculation, conjecture. This man is not trained in knowing who in the IRS would have the ability to, under the command to then define what the terms and conditions of a taxpayer is. There's many definitions of taxpayers, and this man is not competent to answer that question. He's just a tax auditor, and a judge will say, sustained, your question, you have to re-question, You're never going to get a fucking answer if you wait for the trial.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to...
That's why you want to do the declaration.
Right, and that's why Paul's got an attorney assigned to him by the United States Criminal Court down there. And his attorney, I said, why don't you deposition? The prosecutor for the United States government is going to use against you in court. And he went to his attorney and said to his attorney, under Rule 15, I have the right to deposition, all the witnesses and all that evidence, and we could go over it. And we'd have everything, we could come down and meet here at the law office or their law office, and we could go over every document and each page, and we could deposition them and see if we could get them to say something that wasn't written down, like for their affidavit for the search warrant. A lot of the stuff on a affidavit is not true. Why don't we deposition them and destroy their search warrant and then put in a motion to suppress the search warrant? Saying that there was no, the search warrant was obtained, fraudulently, or based on fraudulent affidavit, or based on fraud, or based on, something that wasn't true, anything. And
right.
He said,
deposition,
Right. And his attorney said, absolutely not, that he's not going to deposition anybody. And I said to him, of course, Paul asked some damn good questions to his attorney. He said, but I do have that right under Rule 15 to deposition the plaintiff and everybody, the witnesses and their exhibits, right? I do have that right. He said, yes. He says, and my attorney, you're not going to afford me to exercise that right. Is that what you're saying? He says, no, I'm not going to do it. But Paul said, but I do have that right to do it. Yes. But you're not going to help me do it. No. I'm not going to help you do it. So you see, this is the conundrum that fucking Paul is in now. Because I want him this trial is supposed to be May 6th, I think. And I want it to go on May 6th. His attorney wants to put in motion to delay it. And Paul said to me, he said, I said, where's the jury testimony? He says, they don't have that ready yet. I said, so don't tell the attorney to fucking delay it. I said, anything that the jury determined, I said, is going to be able to be recognized by the court if they don't have it ready. I said, so just let them go with what they got. I said, because you give them time to get the grand jury's, testimony and, you get them to have the ability to have the transcripts of it presented to the court. Right now, they're not ready to go. Screw them. Tell the attorney, we're ready to go. We're ready to go now. I said, you got 3 weeks, before, it's getting really tight. He's got one more final day for motions to be heard. And I told Paul, I said, you got to get your attorney to order them to give you depositions. I said, because Paul wants to actually seek monetary compensation when this is all done. And I said, Paul, you could do it now, then the government got to pick up the tab for the deposition. I said, if you wait till it's a civil trial and you want to deposition all these people, and it's going to take them a week or two to deposition all these people, it's going to cost you a fortune to deposition all these people. I said, so you better do it while the government is paying the bill. You better get all the evidence you need here at the criminal court to use against them at a civil level. Because Paul wants to get monetary compensation for them doing all this nonsense to him. It's basically a stupid tax charge. He brought something into the country without paying taxes for it.
Right.
Well, whoopie-doo.
He must have got to run his mouth for that thing. He brought it to the country.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's what he brought modifiers. It was funny. I was watching TV the other day, and some guy was complaining. He says, hey, the government is making us put silencers, like volume modifiers on our AR-15 rifles, assault rifles now. He said, it's the law that we have to put these things on. So Paul, last year, got actually charged with a crime for bringing silencers into the country to put them on his rifle. And the law has to do it.
Right.
So the best they could get him for is not payment of taxes of this, that he was avoiding paying taxes. It was like $200 worth of crap he bought, so he didn't pay like $14 in taxes. Whoopie-doo. So, but like I said, the IRS was going to nail you for owing them $3.16, and over 20 years it accumulated to $58,612.17, with late fees, fines, penalties, and court costs and everything else, administrative fees. So they're actually going to take you to court. And honestly, all you owe is, 17 cents. But they can't just let it go.
Right.
They say, no, we're making a point here. It's the principle of the thing. It's not the money. It's the principle of the thing.
Right, right.
So like I said, the poem, when he calls me about twice a day, I'm going to say to him, hey, did your attorney ever find out exactly how much money and taxes you owe? And if you did you just send him a check? And just say, no, there's no matter of controversy. I was aware I had to pay the taxes. Now I am, so here's the money. Have a nice day. Well, like I said, I know I said that to Paul in the past, but I don't know if Paul actually brought that up to the attorney's attention. Because it could be that simple of an answer. Because that's what I said to Paul. I said, what are you under? Title 18? He's like, no, Title 26. I was like, what? Like, the Treasury, IRS, what? I said, oh, ATF, yeah, they're under the, it's all about taxes, not paying taxes on whiskey and stuff. Okay. Not paying taxes on firearms. I said, okay, I get it. He didn't get a firearm. He got a silencer, a modifier. Just a piece of pipe with some holes in it. It looks like a muffler for your car. They got one of those old drag pipes for your car.
Right.
Whoopie-doo. And now, like I said, it's the law that all these assault rifles that you buy, you have to also buy the fucking silencer, just like you have to do in Europe. You buy a rifle, you have to buy a silencer. And you can't shoot a fucking rifle. Well, if you want to shoot it, you have to have a silencer on it, or you're going to get, a fine.
No, that's true.
Right. So Paul did it. Paul said, well, I got rifles, and I could get the silencers for like 10 times less money than I could pay for them over here in the United States. He said, I'm home in England. They sell them right over the counter at your local hobby supply, sports center. He says the rifles and the guns are almost impossible to get in England, but the silencers, yeah, they throw them around like cupcakes. Like, here you go. You want a couple of dozen? Here you go. Just a pipe with a hole in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. And he says it's required by law that every single gun that's discharged or rifle has to have a silencer modifier on it. They call them modifiers, not silencers. He says here in your country, he says you folks call them silencers like this is some fancy James Bond sneaky shit. He says over in Europe we do it because we don't want the neighbors to hear bang, 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 bang. Because it's funny, my dog Fox, when he hears these hillbillies, going bang, 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 man, he runs and he hides. He hates the sounds of gunfire. So Fox doesn't like it. It's funny. I said, yeah, that's because he's an English border collie and they don't like guns over there. So, he never probably heard a gun go off in his life.
And now. So you said you was doing a talk show, right?
Yeah, it's on right now, but I'm going to log off for a little bit, man. I got to go and get cleaned up. I got to run to Harrisonburg and go get my kid's medical record and find out why she was in she tried to commit suicide in foster care on Friday night, and she's in a mental institution now. So I want to find out if she tried to ingest something, eat something, try to physically hurt her body, but the police took her into custody and they brought her to an emergency room, and then the emergency room put her over to a mental institution. And the mental institution lady did something really funny by telling me that the head psychiatrist lady over there decided to create an order and not allow the mom or the dad to come visit. I said, oh, really? I said, we love complying with orders. Can we have that in writing, so we could not harass you people and keep coming up there to try to see the kid? So I said to them, look, I said, the kid's going to be discharged from the hospital someday, maybe in a year, 10 years, 20 years. She's going to say, hey, Dad, I was in this mental hospital, and I tried to kill myself. And why didn't you come up and visit me? I said, because I was ordered not to. And here's the order. And this is signed by the psychiatrist lady that you met. Remember this lady, Jennifer? Yeah, well, she said that I couldn't come up there and see you. So the person I was talking to at the mental place said, oh, okay. That's a good reason to have us, write an order and sign it. And I said, yeah, it's a lovely reason. You're damn right. You're going to order me not to come into that public building.
Yeah, put it in writing. Put it in writing.
Yeah, put it in writing and sign it.
Yeah. Now you got ability now.
Yeah, put it in writing, man. And I'll totally comply with the order. You won't see me up there.
Yeah, that's man.
As soon as they give me the order, as soon as they give me the order, the next day I'm going to go get a process server. I'm going to hand them an invoice, $1,000 a day for carrying out the order.